Are you guys using Zillow or tax records to figure out how much your property's worth? Shame on you. You know better than that. Today, I'm going to show you how to accurately judge the price of your home and get that sucker sold quick.
You better get fired up!
All right, guys, so let me start out by saying, yes, I know I sound like a 12-year-old boy going through puberty. I got it, but it's just a little sickness, right? So bear with me. We're going to get through this. I am committed to a YouTube video every Monday and every Friday. So today's Friday. It's coming out, baby. Here we go. So let's talk about Zillow a little bit, right? Why do people use it, and why am I saying you shouldn't use it? People use it because it's quick, it's easy, and you don't have to worry about a salesman, right, a realtor coming into your house, and then if you just don't want to make the move for 6 months, 12 months, you don't like the price, whatever it is, you don't have to worry about me saying, but do you want to sell? Do you want to, you don't have to worry about all that, right? It's done. It's over with. You can say, okay, I don't like Zillow's price. I'm going to move on. So let's think about how Zillow comes up with the values that they're giving you on your house, right? So Zillow's got a mathematical equation, right? An algorithm. And what they do is they look at the basics of your home, the on-paper statistics of your home. So they're going to see that your home has X amount of square feet, it's X years old, it's in this neighborhood, it's got this many bedrooms, this many bathrooms. It knows all of that. Then what it's going to do is it's going to assign a value to everything, right? Whatever that value is. And here's where the difficult part comes into play. How does Zillow know what those values are? Because those values change from neighborhood to neighborhood. They change from school district to school district. And there's even a bigger component to all this, right? If I do a market analysis on your home, and I do it from my house in my office before I even get to your house, I'm going to be about as accurate as Zillow's going to be. I might be a little more accurate because I know the neighborhood's better than Zillow. I know the school district's better than Zillow. I've had a conversation with you, so you've already prepped me on all the amazing things I need to know about and some of the things that aren't so amazing that I need to account for. I've got more information than Zillow has. So even though I'm going to be off, I'm going to be a little tighter than Zillow before I even get to your house. Now, once I get to your house, all the things you didn't tell me about your house, but you should have, right? All the things you're maybe embarrassed about that need to be repaired, that need to be fixed, that ugly neon orange wallpaper you've got, all those things are going to shine through. I'm going to see those. I'm going to say, listen, you either have to fix or upgrade these things, or your property's worth X, right? And then we can talk about what that is. But I, a person, am going to be able to come in and use my expertise and see those differences in the home. Zillow can't do that. Zillow is a machine. It's a robot. It's not able to come into your property and see all those differences and account for them in the value of your property. So what you're going to see is a lot of times Zillow is 10, 20, even 30% off in value. That can be on the high side. It can be on the low side. They'll take a property in a really good neighborhood, but it's close to a bad neighborhood. And because there's more comps in that bad neighborhood, they'll impose those comps on your property, and now your property is valued less than what I'm going to come in and say it's worth, right? And the opposite applies too. You'll also have a home in a horrible neighborhood, but it's giving you all the comps from a nearby great neighborhood, and now you're thinking your home is worth 10, 20, 30% more, when in fact, I'm going to come in and give you the bad news, and you're going to think Joe Rosen is just a jerk. But it's because I'm able to come in and show you the specifics, the details, the supporting factors that come into play when it comes into valuing your property. So I'm telling you to use a realtor. What does a realtor actually do? A realtor is going to come in and they're going to use comps, right? Comparables. And the comps, for me, I always start with sold comps first, all right? So I'm going to take roughly what your property is, and I'm trying to narrow it down to maybe 10, 20 homes that are similar to your home. If you have a really unique home, I might only have 3 or 4. If you've got a cookie cutter house that I've seen a million of, it's not a problem coming up with 30 comps, right? So you've got a 3-bed, 2-bath home right smack dab in the middle of Port St. Lucie. It's got a 2-stall garage and it's 2,000 square feet, no pool. I'm going to look up properties within a half a mile of your home. I'm going to watch where that circle goes to make sure I'm not getting into a really bad or a really good neighborhood. I want to be in a similar neighborhood, right? And then I'm going to look for 3-bed, 2-bath homes with a 2-stall garage, no pool. And if you're at 2,000 square feet, I might look from 1,700 to 2,300, right? 300, 200, something like that on both sides. Then I'm going to do the search and I'm going to see how many pop up. Now, if I have 73 pop up, That's too doggone many, right? I'm gonna refine that search a little bit more. I might pump your age in there, okay? So if you've got a home that was built in 2006, I might look from 2001 to 2000, now I gotta do math, 11, right? Now I'm gonna hit that button. Let's say I'm at 43, still too many. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say, okay, I was plus or minus 300 square feet. Let's come to 200 square feet, right? So I'm gonna look from 18 to 2200 square feet. I do that, boom, now I've got 21 houses. That's good enough, right? I can manage that. We've got a really tight group of houses. Now we can start looking at where you fall in that spectrum. So depending on the market, you can go back 3 to 6 months to look at similar properties, right? We're in a pretty stable market right now. So to go back 6 months really isn't that big of a deal. But if you're in a volatile market, up or down, you don't want to really go back looking 6 months because those numbers can change significantly even over that short 6 month span, right? So in that type of market, I'll go back and look at 3 months. Now, if you've got that unique property I'm talking about, and we go back and look at 3 months, I might only get 1, 2 comps. That's not really enough. So I might still go back, look at 6 months ago, and if the market's gone up quite a bit or down quite a bit, we'll just take that into consideration when we're actually valuing your property. So it's not going to be perfect, but it is going to be correlational. When you take that list and you put it in order from the highest priced home to the lowest priced home, that the bigger homes are towards the top. The newer homes are towards the top. The homes in the better neighborhoods are towards the top. You're going to see a correlation as you go down the list. So now I'm able to look at your specific property and I look at that highest priced home and say, can you compete with this property? And we'll look at the details of the home. We'll look at how the home showed. We'll look at the professional photos. Did they have professional photos, right? You'll also see when you're looking at this that statistically there's some decent homes towards the bottom, but if they didn't have professional photos, they didn't have professional staging, the pictures just weren't supporting the value. Even though the home was, a lot of times they're gonna sell for less. So light bulb, make sure you get professional photos and a stager in there. It is unquestionably the best money you're gonna invest, other than a realtor of course, when you're going to sell your home. I'm starting from the top, going to the bottom, and I'm arguing. As a buyer and a seller, can I argue that your home is equal to this one at the top? No, it's way better. Okay, what about this one? Nope, that one's better than your house also. What about this one? Maybe. What about this one? Yeah, that's pretty similar. What about this one? It's not quite that home, but maybe. And then you start getting down here and you're like, no, that's not even close. We're on a different planet, right? So you take that whole area in the middle that can be argued, and there is your ceiling and your floor, right? You know, so let's just say we're at 290 to 320. You know the home should not sell for less than 290. It is not going to sell for more than 320. So now you've got a ceiling and a floor. So you do the same exact thing, right? You put them priced top to bottom. These are all the comparable actives. So by actives, I'm saying they're on the market right now. This is your competition, right? They didn't sell, they're active. This is who buyers have a choice to buy between when it comes to your listing or the ones that we're looking at on a piece of paper right now. They're gonna be priced from high to low. And again, I'm doing the same thing. I'm saying, okay, you're between 320 and 290. Let's look at 290. Can you compete with that home? Yeah, we're better than that home. Okay, cool. What about this one at 295? Yeah, it's close. You can argue it, but most buyers are going to go for your home over the one at 295. Okay, what about the one at 3? The one at 3 is really close. That is a very similar home to the home you've got. Okay, what about 305? That one's a little bit better. It's got more square footage. It's got a 4th bedroom, not 3 bedrooms. The lot's a hair bigger, and the neighborhood, it's right down the street, right? So same neighborhood. Okay, what about 310? No, that one is considerably better because it's got ABC, whatever it is, right? So we're saying, okay, you can see that we can compete against the 290 and the 295. The 300 becomes a little more difficult, but then the 305 and higher, those are considerably better, right? I do want to put an asterisk on all of this. No market analysis goes as beautifully as I'm drawing this out right now. It just doesn't, right? There are so many factors and so many variables, which is an even bigger sales pitch to use a person over Zillow, I can't even say it, Zillow Zestimates, because it's just a robot. It's just a robot giving you a number out of thin air, and they're not able to come in and look at all of these variables I'm talking about. So we know you're right around 300. Now you've got to think about your pricing strategy. Value-wise, yes, you're right around 300,000. So what is our pricing strategy? For me, you have to think of the era we're in. This isn't 30 years ago where people hop in a car with an agent and they go around looking at 7 properties on a Saturday. This is an era where people do all their searches online. They narrow it down to 7, and those are the 7 they're going to look at. They're going to buy one of them. They've already done the research. They know the schools better. They know the properties better, the pictures better. They might even know the listing agent of all those properties better than I do when I get all that information from them. They're like, hey, I want to go look at these properties. It's very common that a lot of my buyers know everything about these properties, and they should. That's the way we've built it, is so that you, the client, can look at all that information, make the best decision possible for you and your family before you even hop on the road to go search for these properties. All right, the last thing I want to touch on is the unique parts of a property, right? So if you're talking about a pool in an area that doesn't have pools, or that outbuilding, whatever it is, you've got a value with those, but it's never going to be what it cost you to build it, unfortunately. So what is it worth? There are a few different ways to look at the value, but generally speaking, what I try to do is look at a property similar to another property. One has the unique item, one doesn't. And on average, what is the difference in sales price, right? So if I see a 3-bed, 2-bath home and it's got 2,000 square feet and it sells for 300 grand, and then I see a 3-bed, 2-bath home and it's got 2,000 square feet and a pool and it sells for 20 grand more, to me, I don't care if you paid 40, 50, 60, 80 for the pool, the market is dictating that that pool's worth about $20,000 in extra value, right? Again, that's assuming everything is apples to apples, which you're never gonna have, but I'm trying to get across the point that the item that you're trying to sell, that you're trying to value, right? Here it's the pool or the outbuilding, is never gonna be worth that full value you paid for it, but it's not worth zero either. All right, so if you've taken anything away from this video, it's to never look at a Zestimate, never look at your county tax records, at least when you're valuing your property, and get an expert in there. Now, I'm pitching realtors because they're free, and I'm a realtor. Why am I not going to pitch me? But honestly, if you're willing to pay a few $100s, you can get an appraisal in there too, right? An appraiser can come in, give you an appraisal, and tell you not only what your property's worth, but the why behind it. If you have any questions for me, feel free to reach out. There's my phone number. Here's my email address. Leave a comment down below. If you like the video, please go down and hit the like button. If you loved it, subscribe, baby. And you guys stay fired up.